People don't leave jobs, they leave managers.
Ooh.
If you've been a software developer for any amount of time, you have had a bad manager. They can steer a department to success, or they can drive a department into the ground. Here are 5 traits that I found in every successful software development manager. Number 1, they fight for you. There's a lot of things that we need as software developers, but in a lot of businesses, software developers are seen as a cost, not a profit. So a lot of times management wants to limit what they spend on development. A good software manager is going to fight for time that you need to finish projects. They're going to fight for resources that you need to finish projects. They're going to fight for time that you need to handle technical debt. They can go to the stakeholders, they can go to management and explain why we need to fix this and why it's better for the company as a whole that we do. The other part of this is the only thing that comes close to a bad software manager are bad stakeholders. Let me give you a for instance. One time I had to build a travel request approval form, and so it needed to go through a certain approval process. I went to the stakeholders. I said, what is the process for approving now? They laid out the process for me. I said, are there any exceptions to this? No, this is the standard process for every department. We build it out, we roll it out to them, and they say, hey, this department can't use this because they do approvals this way. And you say, but I asked you if there were exceptions. The second thing they do is they get you what you need. This isn't always time or equipment. Sometimes it's training. If you're taking on a new project, if you're starting a new technology, if you have to meet new regulations, then a good software manager is going to find what you need to be successful in that, and they're going to get you those resources. But the other side of that is career development. A good software manager, he's going to meet with you. He's going to find out what your strengths and weaknesses are. He's going to know what your goals are, and that manager will walk beside you and help you get to your goals. And the last, which kind of ties into the first, is the equipment that you need to run. Have you ever pushed things directly to production because they don't want to spend the resources on a development machine or a test environment? It's not a good outcome. The third things that good software managers do, they get out of your way. When you're deep in development, the worst thing that can happen to you is somebody coming up and tapping you on the shoulder asking for a progress report. They also don't take up your time with meeting after meeting after meeting. If your stand-up in the morning is more than 15 minutes, that's not a stand-up anymore. A good software development manager, he's going to say, if this conversation in the stand-up takes more than 2 minutes, that needs to be somewhere else. Let's not tie up the entire development department with this one issue that we're working on. The other part of that is micromanaging. A good software developer is going to give you room to figure out a problem, to find solutions, and to get something done. Managers who micromanage you, that is somebody who does not have confidence in themselves, and they do not have confidence in you, and they will throw you under the bus if need be. The fourth thing a good software development manager does, they celebrate wins. This doesn't mean that you ignore problems in the department, but it means you handle them in a discreet way. You talk to the developer offline. You don't ridicule them or call them out in front of everyone. You may address a specific problem in front of everyone, but it doesn't include naming and shaming that person. This is the difference between a punitive environment and an encouraging environment. In a punitive environment, you're working hard because you don't want the consequences of what you know might come if you don't get your job done in time. But an encouraging environment is a manager who calls out people when they succeed on something. It may have taken you 8 months to get something done, but when you achieve that, your manager will call you out and say, hey, great job on finishing that. The final and biggest aspect of a good software development manager is somebody who understands that your success is their success. They're not trying to win on meeting their budget. They're not trying to win on coming under the deadline. They understand that if you, as the developer, put out a good product that makes the company money or a good product that saves time, they win by you winning. And so their ultimate goal is to see you succeed, because if you succeed, they succeed. They're not out for themselves first. They're not willing to throw you under the bus to get what they need, because that's just going to drive their good developers away. A lot of people on Reddit will ask, hey, all my senior developers just left. What do I do? You leave, because that is not a good software development manager. I opened this video by saying people don't leave jobs, they leave managers. And that is especially true in the software development world. You want to be successful, you want to learn, you want to grow, and you want to succeed in your career. And that's not going to happen when you have a terrible manager running your team.